Welcome back everybody to another episode of the Calamity Masochist Death playthrough. This will likely be the penultimate episode for the Calamity content for the playthrough, as the only remaining bosses we have left now are Devourer of Gods, Jungle Dragon Yharon, the Exomex, and Supreme Calamitous. I plan to do both the Devourer of Gods and Yharon in this episode, and then finish off the rest of the Calamity content with the Exomex and Escal in the final Calamity episode. With that in mind, however, I'm not sure if I want to do Mutant and Abomination in their own separate videos, or if I want to compile them into one video. Regardless of what I decide to do, there should probably only be 1 or 2 episodes left of actual progression-based content, as we're actually nearing the end of our playthrough. It's been an insane journey, but it's not over yet, and the most insane ones are still to come. So, without further ado, let's get right into the content. Before we tackle a 2 times HP Devourer of Gods, however, we need to solidify our strategy a little bit. The first thing that I decided to do that I've forgotten to do up until this point was craft the Elderberry. It's the second last permanent HP boost that we can craft and will give us an additional 25 HP to work with. Look at that, it's working already. The second thing I needed to figure out was how to deal with the dropping of my frames to what I believe is 1 or less, because this is completely unplayable. Toggling on frame skip to either on or off, I can't remember which one, fixed the issue completely. However, I only thought of this about 1 or 2 hours into fighting Devourer of Gods. And by that point I was so tired of dying at 15 or 10% HP due to my game dropping frames that I reduced Devourer of Gods HP back to baseline values. In hindsight, I'm not sure why once I found the solution I didn't change it back, since I no longer was having lag issues, but I'm assuming it was just because I was too annoyed of dying to the lag.
Oh, I can't do double HP because that attack just guarantees death. Or a hit. Also, is it just me or does that sound like a Pokeball? I had it. Yeah, awesome.
Eventually, however, we do manage to defeat the Devourer of Gods, so here's the entirety of that very rage-induced fight. Crazy to me how we can blow through the first 40% of his HP in the first 40 seconds, but the rest of the fight takes more than 2.5 minutes.
Awesome. Dash that I didn't want. awesome. Epic.
With the Devourer of Gods defeated, we hit what is, in my opinion, the last major power spike of Calamity progression. We get access to Cosmolite bars, Nightmare Fuel, as well as Endothermic Energy. 3 very important crafting materials, and because they're such important materials, you know what that means? Grinding. Lots and lots of grinding.
Okay, well, we need to do a bunch of stuff. So let's do that.
This has absolutely nothing to do with the actual playthrough, but while I was looking for things that I could craft with Cosmolite, I just thought that this summed up the entirety of me trying to peacefully do anything in this playthrough absolutely perfectly.
A lot of stuff. I would really appreciate if you got out from inside of me. Thanks.
Mobility is key to late game Terraria playthroughs. That's why the very first thing I decided to make was finally upgrade our Seraph Tracers into Elysian Tracers. To do that, however, we need to kill Providence again. That should be no problem, right?
Thanks for the wings. Elysian Tracers.
You also need arguably way too much Cosmolite, so we have to do Devourer of Gods again an unreasonable amount of times. We also get to make the final upgrade for our ammunition, Godslayer Slugs and Vanquisher Arrows. And oh boy, these things pack a punch.
So now we have Godslayer Slugs and Vanquisher Arrows. Do I dare? Okay. Yeah, that's so cool, man. Well, now we need to get Godslayer Armor. Which, again, requires Cosmolite. Okay.
After defeating the Devourer of Gods for probably the 800th time in this playthrough, we finally have enough Cosmolite to make our second last armor set of the game, Godslayer Armor. With this upgrade, we're finally ready to take on Yharon. Wait, didn't I do Yharon pre-Moon Lord? Nah, that was a dream.
Hey Yharon, I'm back. And much stronger than Ice Gravestones. I'm no longer pre-Moon Lord Yharon.
I almost make an oopsie and do regular Yharon on not even Revengeance mode. However, I catch myself. And let him slaughter me, of course.
That is not what I wanted, but sure. Oh, this fight certainly goes a lot faster when you can actually deal damage yourself and having to not depend on, what is it, self-damage from your end? I don't really remember his attacks, I'm not gonna lie. I almost feel bad. I'm dead, actually. I'm not dead. I am sorry, Yharon. Alright, let's go mine some Auric ore, shall we? Actually, first let's make our... No, we need Auric ore for that, don't we? Yeah, okay. Hold up. I'll be back.
After mining Auric ore for literally 20 minutes, because we just need that much of it, we can finally start working on our final armor set of the game, the Auric Ranger set. This requires us to build the full set of Godslayer armor, which we already have thankfully, Tarragon armor, which we also have, as well as the full Bloodflare set, which we unfortunately do not have, so we have to go and farm Poltergeist a couple of times in order to get the Ruinous Souls. After all the grinding, we craft our Auric Mask, our Auric Chestplate, and our Auric Greaves. Endgame armor sets already go pretty hard, but because it's Calamity, you already know they go super hard. The full Auric set combines all of the separate ranger effects for the full Tarragon set, Bloodflare set, as well as the Godslayer set. There's way too many to list, so use your brain and perceive the information. I believe in you. On top of our final endgame armor set, we get to craft some endgame weapons too. To absolutely nobody's surprise, we require way more farming materials, so what better way to test out our new weaponry than violating the Geneva Convention? I think we can all agree that having your nuts cracked is a fair price to pay for salvation. With the full power of our endgame arsenal, there's only two places left we can go. Face the Exomechs, or craft the Accursed Altar and face Supreme Calamitous.